What's up, everybody? This is the Oklahoma Prepper, and today we're going to talk a little bit about hurricane preparedness, so stick around. So, I wanted to bring up a couple of things before we get started. Prep. Prepping doesn't have to be about the end of the world, nuclear attack, civil war, stuff like that. This is what prepping is about. Prepping for natural disasters, hurricanes, floods, fires, tornadoes, wherever you're at, earthquakes even, wherever you're at in the world, you can do all this stuff. And you don't have to label it as prepping, just say, I'm getting ready for what's going to happen, this, that, or the other. It is too late. It's Hurricane Harvey's already hit, done its damage. We've sent our rescues down. We've done a lot of work already. Florida, it is too late. It's really hard to explain because we have so much time. We have years. Start now prepping. It is never too late to start, but once you start prepping for a certain event that is emergent, then it's too late. So I think a lot of us have known about Hurricane Irma for quite some time now, but first things first, if you can get out, if you can evacuate, do it. Do not wait. Do not think, hey, I can ride this out. A lot of people in Houston did that. It did not work out. A lot of people in New Orleans did that. It did not work out. A lot of people in a lot of hurricanes, a lot of people in every hurricane did that, and it did not work out. So let me kind of shed some light on what happens when you call 911 to report some type of an emergency or a situation. You pick up the phone, you dial 911. Maybe 2 or 3 rings. If you're lucky, you can get a dispatcher. You tell the dispatcher your information. Hey, I'm at this address. This is what's happening. I need this type of emergency crew. Okay, so that is about a minute that has gone by. They transfer that information sometimes from a phone dispatcher to a radio dispatcher. It sends it into this messenger type thing, this chat room type thing, and they map it. They call the nearest fire department, ambulance, or police car, and they give that information over. For example, if you were calling to say, hey, I smell gas, I smell a gas-like odor, it takes about 4 to 6 minutes before the fire truck gets to your house from the time that you call 911. So you have to take into consideration that's 6 minutes. When 50,000 people are calling 911 all at once, now that 6 minutes has turned into a 4-hour wait time. What you're doing whenever you decide to stay back and try to ride it out, a lot of people can. A lot of people can't. A lot of people are not prepared to. A lot of people are prepared to. But if you are not prepared to, if you don't have the water, if you don't have the food, if you don't have the emergency radio, the emergency communications, if you're in a low-lying area that's flood-prone, take into consideration, Hurricane Irma is anticipated to be a Category 6 by the time it makes landfall in Florida. Hurricane Irma is already being claimed to be a hurricane of biblical proportions. So A lot of people are not going to be able to make it out of this hurricane. A lot of people have. A lot of people have evacuated. So the deal is if you guys can make it out, if you guys can escape, evacuate, bug out, do so. It is the most important thing you can do. It is very hard for me as a rescuer to answer 50,000 911 calls in one night. It takes time for me to get from where I'm at to where you're at. I have to drive through floodwaters. I can't go as fast as I normally would in the engine for fear of the road below me being washed out, water carrying my engine away. That is possible. And water flooding my engine out. So you have to take into consideration, because you call 911 doesn't mean 911 is going to be there in this type of situation. So make sure you have a hurricane survival kit. It doesn't have to be a hurricane survival kit. You can call it whatever you want. A one-person survival kit should have about 2,400 calories of, a food bar, some canned food, stuff like that, some beef jerky, whatever. Something high in calories so that it can give you the energy you need to be able to take survival precautions. You need water. You need, ideally, any human being is ideally supposed to drink a gallon of water per day. A gallon of water will last you a couple of days. So at the very minimum, about a gallon of water will last you a few days. So about a minimum of a gallon of water per person. Water purification tablets. That is something very important in case your water gets contaminated or you run out of water and rescue is taking a little bit longer than you anticipated. You can purify your own water. Tap water will still run because it's just a gravity system, unless for some reason your city's water system runs off of pumps and then you can't get water pumped. But you can still get whatever water you have and use those. One water purification tablet will treat about 1 liter of water. AM/FM radio, little handheld. You can listen to the weather. You can listen to music, whatever. A rechargeable flashlight, a survival whistle, and some waterproof matches. If you don't have waterproof matches, or you can't get any waterproof matches, but you do have matches, take those matches and dip them in some wax. That will help waterproof them, and that will help them last just a little bit longer, not too much, but a little bit longer, so that you can get a little more burn time out of them. Maybe a few seconds, maybe a little bit longer. These little Walmart radio. This isn't a Walmart radio. This is a radio that is ordered from a company. This is a ham radio that I use for my company to communicate with my fire chief, or my communications for the company I'm the director for. So, but anyways, this radio, this is a Baofeng radio. You can get these on Amazon for about $35, $40. These are very inexpensive. These are dead. Mine are dead. I'm very unprepared right now. But these have an LED for a flashlight. These have the monitor button, I believe. You can use it to tune in an AM/FM radio. You can program these to work on what is called FM or FRS frequency, radio frequency. I'm not quite sure about the laws on that, so you might want to be sure. Or you can program these to work on what is called MERS channel, or multi-use radio channel. And you can use those radio channels to communicate between family members or anyone else in the event of an emergency. So that is something to take into consideration. Radios, two-way radios from Walmart work just fine. Uh, you've got your flashlight. Everybody needs a flashlight. Everybody always needs a flashlight. Glow sticks are even better. They last for 8 hours. You break them, shake them up, and they last for 8 hours. Survival whistle. That way you can, if you don't have your radio, or if your radio gets waterlogged, or you just don't have one, blow the whistle. It'll get the attention of someone. Somebody will send help. Emergency survival blankets. Always a good idea to have. They keep you warm. They're highly reflective. So if you're if you're stranded on the roof of your house, and you have that survival blanket, then, they call them space blankets. It's a polymer, or can't even think of what it is. Anyways, those silver aluminum foil looking blankets, you can use them to reflect light to a rescue helicopter or boat or something. A poncho with a hood. It keeps you a little bit more dry. That way, keep you a little cooler. An N95 respirator or N95 dust mask. They, if structural integrity of your house becomes compromised, your roof could collapse. Stuff like that. Your walls could fall in. There's no telling if you didn't build the house. There's no telling what's up there. It could be asbestos. It could be, just dust. It could be anything. So the N95 respirator will help with those with allergies, dust allergies, insulation. You don't want to get that stuff in your lungs. You don't want to breathe that stuff. It's not really great. So something like that would help. Tissue packs and wet naps or baby wipes. I go out and buy baby wipes a lot. I use baby wipes a lot. Baby wipes are actually pretty awesome. So I always keep baby wipes with me. You wash your hands, wash your face. Anything to kind of keep your hygiene a little bit better than without it. A small first aid kit is always handy because you never know when you're going to cut, nick, scratch. Something very bad could happen. Something not so bad could happen. You need some Neosporin that will help fight infection as well. So that's just a small list of what a person needs to survive a couple of days after a hurricane, or just in any type of situation, tornado, wildfire, flood, stuff like that. So first of all, if you can escape, do it. If you can evacuate, do it. It is probably the best way to prepare to survive a hurricane of this intensity, this size. So, and if you can't, take the time out. You can go out to Walmart. You can go to the dollar store. You can go to anywhere and take the time to buy these items. Go out to a thrift store. Pick you up a couple of backpacks, one for each one of your family. It doesn't have to be big. It can be just the size you want it to house all this stuff. The water, the calorie bars, your radio, napkins, stuff like that. Or you can go big and get you a big backpack, put a couple of days worth of clothes in there, your documents, your birth certificates, Social Security cards, insurance papers, whatever else you need to basically make a lot of things a lot easier, a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to get through, insurance claims, stuff like that. So, take into consideration that 911 will not be there. It could be, let's just hope it will be, but for the sake of preparedness, let's assume that it's not going to be there. Just be prepared to get a 4-hour wait time for a 911 call. Which brings me to my next subject. What is 911 used for? 911 is for emergencies, life or death emergencies, uh, fires, stuff like that. In Houston, there was a house that caught on fire. The fire department was not able to tie into the fire hydrants to go in and do an interior offensive attack. So they had to sit outside from a long ways away and try to push water that way towards the house, and it did not work. Your house is on fire. I'm sorry to say, I wish you the best of luck. My thoughts are with you, but it's gone. Um, it's gone. If you need to call 911, make sure that it is a true emergency. Your life is in danger. You are having a severe medical condition, attack, or something of that nature. Somebody is trying to hurt you. These will bump you up to the priority list, and we will try to get there as soon as possible. Do not call 911 if you're out of formula, you're out of diapers. This is stuff that you should have prepared for weeks in advance, at the very minimum weeks in advance, days in advance, once you know that you're going to be hit by a hurricane. Don't ever let it get that bad, guys. So, just remember that once the hurricane is formed, once it becomes a hurricane, and once it is moving towards Florida, it is almost too late. So have an evacuation route, evacuation procedures. It doesn't have to be the cities or the governments. It can be your own. Hey, a hurricane was formed in the mid-Atlantic. Let's go ahead and go. That's probably one of the best things you can do. You have days, you have days and days and days to get everything you need out. Your sentimental belongings, paperwork, documents, call and make reservations with a hotel. Hey, I'm getting run out by the hurricane. I need a room for a couple of weeks, couple of days, or call up some friends or family. Hey, I'm getting run out by the hurricane. Can I come stay with you for a few days? A week maybe, stuff like that. Get this stuff prepared. Days, weeks in advance. We usually get about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks if we're lucky, on the time a hurricane forms in the Gulf, in the Atlantic, to the time it makes landfall. So, take these in consideration. Make the plans. You don't have to act on them. Make the plans. Get your trailer out of storage, your box truck, whatever, load it up, get ready to head out, get ready to hightail it. So, some of the best things you can do is get out before anything happens. If you do decide to ride it out, make sure you have the ability to ride it out. Make sure you can ride it out. Make sure that your house is not going to get destroyed by a flood. Winds aren't going to push your house over. Stuff like that. One of the biggest killers in hurricanes is flooding, is rain. People drown. So make sure that you're not a low-lying area. There's a lot of ideas that you can take into consideration. Some things that you've done in the past that have worked out or did not work out. So take those ideas, run them through your head. Hey, what could I have done different? This would happen. That's what happened when I did that last time. So I'm not going to do that again this time. Trial and error. Luckily, some of us do get the opportunity to have an error and to be able to make up for it and compensate for that error. Do not spend the rest of your life wishing I would have got my family out sooner and they would still be here with me. Do it now. Do it when you have the time to do it. Okay. You've got another thing you guys want to prepare for is Fuel. On my live video on YouTube, I talked about, I'm not YouTube, excuse me, Facebook. I talked about the fuel shortage that was happening down in Houston because of the hurricane. There was that fuel shortage was making its way up to Dallas. So you might want to take into consideration that there's going to be a fuel shortage in your area. So a lot of people are not going to be able to have the fuel to go out and rescue you. Okay? So don't put these guys in danger because you decided, hey, I think I'm going to wait it out. If something happens, I can call 911. I'm not saying that because I'm a firefighter and, I was in emergency services. I'm saying this for you. I'm saying this for your benefit, for your health, for your safety. 911 will not be there when you call them in the middle of a hurricane. I don't want to hear 20 people died in this hurricane. I want to hear everyone survived, everyone made it out safely, everyone prepared and took the necessary precautions to get away from the hurricane, to get out of the way, to save themselves. That's going to make a lot of lives a lot easier. So I'm going to stop right there with that. I'm going to put a couple of links in the description for a couple of ideas for hurricane survival kits and stuff like that. You don't have to order these. If you do, that's great, awesome. If not, take the list, go out shopping, and pick up, go to a thrift store, get a couple of backpacks, go to Walmart or Dollar Store and pick up some of the supplies. It's all there. It's all there. So I wanted to, before I go, I wanted to let everyone know, Harvey victims, you guys are still in my thoughts and prayers. I wish things would have come out a lot better for you guys, but it hasn't. But I'm still thinking about you all and praying for you. Florida, East Coast, St. Thomas, all those, the U.S. Virgin Islands, everyone that is affected, has been affected, and is going to be affected by Hurricane Irma. You guys are also in my thoughts and prayers, and I'm hoping for a good outcome for y'all. So just take the time. If you guys pray, say prayer. If you guys just say, hey, I hope things work out for them, say, I hope things work out for them. Just be there for everybody when we need it. So stay safe, keep prepping, and I hope we will see you guys again here in a few days for my next video. Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe and keep prepping.